Well, I think the biggest things that are coming up within organizations right now is how to deal with change and how to do so in an agile way that is going to not only not disrupt but expand operations. Many of the clients that have been coming to me have been coming with a pressing problem around, of course, it started with COVID and then growing up through the Great Resignation, and now we actually have the impact of oil prices and materials handling and supply chain. I have some clients that I've talked to who have been waiting for 4 or 6 months for supplies that are supposed to arrive from overseas. So the process change in sourcing, the process change in, how do we deal in an agile way with the external threats that the environment can offer, and then pivot them to turn them into opportunities. And that's been a big core piece of our work as we help companies like Denny's Corporation or healthcare systems. We specialize in service-based organizations. We are finding a lot of our business is in multi-unit or franchise operations where you have many moving parts. So it's that dealing with change and dealing so in a proactive versus a reactive way so that a company isn't blindsided.
Absolutely. And we have been blindsided for the last 2 years because of the pandemic. It's probably not over. We're going to get blindsided with climate change. Supply chain is one of those things that snuck up on us. And I think I hear that it's going to be over in a couple of years, along with a microchip shortage, which means cars can't be built. So there's a lot of things going on. So I'm curious, how do we address it? How do you address it with a company, Diane, that's facing a lot of these conditions and situations? Diane?
So we have to look at the dependencies. What is a company truly dependent on? What is business as usual for that organization? And why is that business as usual creating the pain that is currently existing? What is the resistance to changing business as usual? Is it a financial resistance? Is it a comfort resistance? And we address those things from a standpoint of possibility. So what is possible? And we start with research. And it's so essential that you start any sort of problem exploration with research, which finding out what the real state of the situation is. So many decisions can be made on assumption or conjecture. And when you start from that base of research, then you can do a true gap analysis in the process versus from ideal state versus the current state, and you can close that gap in a more strategic way. There can be a large temptation, especially during uncertain times, to just fix it, just slap a band-aid on it. Let's just keep moving forward. And of course, yes, you have to keep moving forward, but also you can't have the band-aid become the permanent solution. And what happens is when the C-level is addressing problems, they may be addressing problems that are legacy problems that came from leadership before them, where there was just a band-aid slapped on something. And looking at how those changes impact the workforce, that is such a major thing that is so incredibly important, especially when you add in the additional factor of the unprecedented choice that is present in the market today with employees of all levels. It's not just the restaurant level that is deeply understaffed, or the low level jobs that are deeply understaffed. You can have high level consultants. One of my consultants actually just got poached by Amazon, which I'm very proud of her for getting poached by Amazon, and it's a testament to the quality of consultants we have. But on the other hand, also, I would need to be willing, if I wanted to keep her, to pay above market scale to keep her. I am seeing this in so many circumstances. So when making those decisions around the uncertain environment and change, to not leave out that people component and that communications component, because that's an area where the best laid plans can fail.
Absolutely. And I certainly recognize the value that you bring not only to your own people, but to the audience or the clients that you serve.